Can someone please help me manifesting my SP? So this particular question came from our Facebook group, and very simply put, it's how to manifest your SP, your partner, or the person you'd like to have as love in your life. Situation was a little bit interesting because this person had actually already been attempting to apply the law of assumption. They claimed that they had done the meditations, that they had been affirming, and yet it wasn't happening. And they said they've been doing it for 3 long months. It's interesting, 3 long months is not long, by the way. But they also used the words, I've tried everything, tried, okay? So, if you want to know, has anybody else here manifested a partner, even in interesting situations? So, I'm an example of that, because I manifested my partner, and I'll tell you exactly what I did. Hello, Robert Meade from The Power of Imagination. Today I'm doing a Q&A. So I have questions both from YouTube and a Facebook site that I'm affiliated with that covers questions and helps people get their answers. And so these are some of the questions, first of all, from my YouTubers I'd like to share with you. And stay tuned for that, because a lot of these answers are going to apply indirectly to your situation and be able to help you also here on The Power of Imagination. Okay, let's get started. Here's our first question. This is from one of our subscribers, and they ask, what about if it is for a job for another person? What do I imagine? So this is a case where you actually want to imagine a friend or someone you care about actually getting employment, getting the job that they want. And can you do that? Absolutely, absolutely. And you can actually influence what will be needed in your imagination. And he asked, well, what can I imagine? Well, first of all, you think of your friend. Imagine your friend. The key thing is you want to imagine, first of all, that he already has the job. So he's already in that position, or she is already in that position. What would that look like? So imagine that. They're already in a position. Of course, they would be happy, they would be joyful, they would be grateful, and they would be in that position, actually in that job, acting in that job. And so you could, for example, create a scene of congratulations. Neville talks about that. It's very simple. And actually, the more simple you keep it, the better. So imagine you see your friend, and for example, he's being congratulated by the director of that company. And he's reaching his hand out, he's being congratulated, and that director is saying, you know what, you've done a fantastic job, we're so glad that we hired you, you're doing amazing, and there's only better things for you to come. Another possibility would be that you imagine yourself involved in that scene. That can also be more effective because you're the one doing the imagining for him to manifest his job. So it could be you and he at a restaurant, or you and he were one of the places you meet frequently, and just saying, hey, how's that new job going? And him responding to you, it's absolutely amazing. I love my new position, and I'm making a great income. It feels fantastic. Now, how long did that take? That was only about 30 seconds. And that's the key point, is you want to actually imagine a scene that would imply that you already have it. Or in this case, that they already have it. They're in it. They're experiencing it. As I explained in my last few videos, is that you have to visualize that you're in it and dwell in it. So that's the case here, and it applies when you're manifesting for someone else. And you can do that not only to help someone get a job. You can do that with your beautiful imagination, someone going through a difficult relationship with their significant other, or perhaps with their children or a family member, or something they're going through at work. You can imagine everything already worked out for them and everything already solved. So it's really dwelling in solution and thinking from that point. Okay, let's take a look at another question. Our next question is going to be, well, this was actually a request. He says, hi, Robert, do please do a video on living in the end. So living in the end is a concept that Neville Goddard had, which I've discussed on my channel, of believing you're already there. How do you get into that state of believing that you're already there and live from that, imagining it's true? Well, I'm going to leave a link, I'll leave it on this one also, of the video. I've already done it. He's asking me to do it. Well, I've already done a very detailed video on living in the end, what that means, and how you can do it. Okay? So, moving on, let's take another question. So this person was an anonymous member of our Facebook group, which is Neville Goddard Mystic Teachings. Neville Goddard Mystic Teaching. I'll leave a link for that. It's the best Facebook site, in my opinion, with which I am a moderator and a local expert on that site. But we have amazing coaches and those who teach how to manifest and how to teach how to use the law of assumption. So this is a question from that Facebook site. The thought is this. When I was single, and before I was having kids, I succeeded in manifesting many great things, including a great job, getting married, and having kids despite difficulties. Now, my every desire revolves around my family, and what I would like for us is not necessarily what my family wants. For example, due to the complicated situation in my country, I'm considering immigration, but my husband doesn't want to think about it. And my kids don't want to leave because they have friends and very close with their grandparents there. I know that in 10 to 15 years, it will be impossible to live here where she was in that particular country. How do you find the balance when the desires of the people closest to you conflict with your own? All my success came when I visualized myself doing something concrete, like a crying child in my hands, sitting in a beautiful office, or driving a car. But now, I don't even know what to visualize in my sats. Well, that's kind of a complicated question because it's involving others who are not on board with your desire. And they refer to SATs. SATs stands for state akin to sleep. State akin to sleep. S-A-T-S. So that's the alpha meditation that I've spoken about that Neville teaches. And what I would recommend is, if you know that this would be a loving result for you and your family to be in that other country, in spite of the fact that they can't see it now, I would still recommend that you go ahead and imagine it as true anyway. Imagine it as being to their benefit. Using the golden rule of doing for others, right? What you'd want to have done to yourself, more or less. This is the idea, is that you know that long term, this would be a great move to a new opportunity in a new country with perhaps a better income, better living situation, better schooling, whatever it is that you see in that picture. Now, it may take some time for that to evolve, and for those that you're in conflict with on this desire, and yet I still encourage you to imagine it as true, because the influences that will be needed will simply happen. They will begin to see your side of things. So I wouldn't give up on a hope like that. I would imagine it as true, but see it as the loving result for them, not something that they had to be really changed from conflict. Don't see it as conflict. See them in harmony with your desire, and you'll notice that things begin to unfold and you eventually have that desire met, even though it's complex. All right, next. Hello, everyone. This might come off ridiculous. This is also from the Facebook. How do you stop being intimidating? They wanted to know not how to not be intimidated, but how do you stop being intimidated? Notice the situation. I am a tall woman in her early 20s, and men will stare but never approach. Friends have told me that I give intimidating vibes and that I'm very black cat. Should I just repeat affirmations? So we see the situation. She's tall. She feels that men are intimidated by her, and so they don't approach her. So what would the opposite be of being intimidating. The opposite of intimidating would be very attractive, like a magnet. Imagine yourself that you meet people easily. They are not in fear of approaching you. They're happy to approach you because, for one thing, you want to be approachable. What's the best way to be approachable? Well, you would be smiling. When someone looks at you, you would look right back at them. One of the things I notice about handsome women or beautiful women, sometimes men, is that because they're so used to being complimented and they're so used to being beautiful or unique, tall, whatever the case might be, that they're very familiar with people staring at them, but they don't really make contact. I would dare you to become bold and actually imagine that you're bold enough to look right back at them and say, "Hi, how are you?" Right? Actually, you're approachable. You're no longer intimidating. So one of the things I do, one of my mantras, you could call it an affirmation if you like, but I always imagine making new friends every day. There is no one that intimidates me, right? If I see a police officer, or if I see somebody of large stature and muscular, or if I see someone that's poor and so forth, regardless of their station in life, I'm not intimidated, nor do I automatically turn away. So you turn away where first? To answer this person, she's actually turning away in her imagination first, in her self-talk, in her inner conversation. When she's out in a crowd, she's already anticipating that people will stare at her, number one, and that they will be intimidated, and that they will not approach her, and therefore that she's not approachable and she's intimidating. Imagine what the opposite of that would be. Step into that, dwell in that, and become a person who makes friends easily and is approached often. I am approached often. Believe it, imagine it, and you'll see it. Okay, so our next question, it comes from a member of our Facebook group, and it's a question that many of you have, and that is how to manifest a partner. It's often referred to online as your SP. SP meaning special person or significant other. And basically this is manifesting your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your future husband or wife, your partner. How do you manifest them, okay? But the situation here is unique because this is someone who has actually worked with the law of assumption, claims to have implemented it, and wants some advice as to how they can see better results manifesting their new partner. So this is how they put it. They asked the question, has any one of you here successfully manifested his or her SP partner, regardless of the worst circumstances? It's been more than 3 months since I am on this SP journey. So more than 3 months, by the way, is not long. Only 3 months they've been trying to manifest a partner. They go on to say, I robotically affirm and affirmed with focus for hours, listened to subliminals, and I worked on my self-concept. All right? I affirmed in the alpha meditation, or SATS. I detached. I try, listen to that word, I try to let go. Anything I could do, I did it, they claim, right? And this is only over a 3-month period. But here I am, and I'm not being negative or crying. I just wanted to know where I went wrong. So this particular question came from our Facebook group, and very simply put, it's how to manifest your SP, your partner, or the person you'd like to have as love in your life. This person had actually already been attempting to apply the law of assumption. They claimed that they had done the meditations, that they had been affirming, and yet it wasn't happening. And they said they've been doing it for 3 long months. It's interesting, 3 long months is not long, by the way. But they also used the words, I've tried everything, tried, okay? So, they want to know, has anybody else here manifested a partner, even in interesting situations? So, I'm an example of that, because I manifested my partner, and I'll tell you exactly what I did. So first of all, If possible, it is much easier to manifest someone that you don't know yet. Now, I know the case is many times, these are cases where someone already is falling in love with someone, right? And they want to manifest that person to be their partner. And that is possible, okay? The same thing applies. What we are conscious of, what we believe to be true, and what we're aware of needs to be self-persuaded within us. So the steps would be already seeing yourself with them, imagining that you're already in that relationship with them, and then creating, again, a specific scene that would imply that you're already with them. So you're once again, you're with them on a date or out at a restaurant or in your intimate home setting with your arms around them or sitting with them, enjoying a meal, whatever would imply that you're already with them. And you go over that again and again and again. It's not an affirmation. It's actually imagining it and then bringing it into what they claim that they did, which is SATS, the Alpha Meditation. But how long did they do it and how intensely they did it, I cannot say from this post. I do know that manifesting a partner takes a consistent investment, nightly and daily, going into that imagination and going into that meditation, whether it's a 2-minute meditation or a half-an-hour meditation, but doing it frequently, even throughout the day. Now, this applies not only to getting a partner, but other situations. Now, in my case, I specifically wrote down 16 qualities that I was looking for in my partner. I didn't know who she was yet. In fact, I did this while I was in America. Now, being here in the Philippines, I went back into that imagined state and imagined that I would meet that person. I'd already imagined previously, and still I imagined that I would meet them on the beach. I actually met her on this very beach, right here on Ananuan Beach. I met her about 500 meters down the beach, walking on the beach. She was walking toward me. I had the courage to greet her and say hello, and then everything unfolded after that. And guess what? I not only met her on the beach the way I'd imagined, but she had all 16 qualities. Now, these qualities are many, and they involve common hobbies, common romantic qualities, physical characteristics, and things that we would both enjoy together, that we would have in common, like snorkeling and scuba diving and enjoying the beach, okay? So there's a full list that I had, right? And I imagined specific things that I would see in that person that would be revealed when I got to know them, and that I would be the ideal fit for them. Yeah, I was that specific in imagining exactly what I wanted. Now, you need to dare to be bold, especially if you're single and you haven't met that person yet. Why not start from scratch, if you can, and imagine the ideal person, even the characteristics they would have. In this, you also want to imagine that you are an ideal fit for them. Then, just as with other scenes of manifestation, you want to imagine that you're already meeting them and with them. So I imagined literally meeting her on the beach, and that's exactly what happened. Okay? I hope you're picking up some benefit from this. If you are, please remember to like and comment, and of course, subscribe. So manifesting really comes down to knowing exactly what you want, imagining it true already, asking yourself, what would it look like if I already had it? What would it be like if I already was in that life that I seek? By doing that, you then imagine a specific scene. Then you take this scene, imagining already having it, a vivid scene of you actually being in it and dwelling from it, as I've said in my other videos. Again, go back and review my video on visualization. Now, I have other videos, a lot of videos on the law of assumption and how to manifest, the steps, the specific steps involved. I'm going to leave those for you. You'll also find a whole playlist about those on my channel. You'll also find on my channel actually one-on-one coaching sessions that I did, that I had the permission of the individuals that I coached to use clips that I recorded from actual coaching. Okay, so thank you for watching. This was rather a spontaneous Q&A that I decided to do right here on the beach. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. This is Robert Meade coming from my beach in the Philippines, and I'll talk to you again real soon.